Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to elenasbarre Impact Full Body Workouts. I'm today with Melody. Yeah, we have no makeup. We just woke up, guys, and we decided to have a little chit chat with you. So we were talking about flying and airplanes and the STEM specialties that people get paid for. And if you look in today's world in comparison, how those guys who take a lot of responsibility, the pilots who are flying thousands of people a day, get paid versus the women on OnlyFans, how much those ladies get paid. And yeah, we were just elaborating on that topic. Let us know what you think in the comments. And yeah, it's just so weird, so messed up, right, Melody?
Yeah, kind of the amount of money for like the effort put in and like the responsibility and also like what's contributed, to kind of making things work in the world and society. It's they're not on the same level. And yeah, like I was saying, Tierney, it's like a temporary thing for women because it's not something that it's not like a career that you can do until you retire at 65 or something typically.
Sure. Nobody will want to look at the body which is 60, 50 years old, right? It only works for a very short period of time. And once you are on OnlyFans, ladies, that's it. You can't do anything else. Nobody will take you seriously. And yeah, sure, you can make a lot of money out there, but at what expense?
Right. And like, any, I guess most guys who would, be interested in a serious relationship too. And because, the OnlyFans only works for, maybe a decade, maybe two, if you're like really taking good care of yourself and have good genes. But after that, it's like, well, then, you got the choice of like, I don't know, just kind of struggling along or like going back to school as like a middle-aged person and like trying to find some way to support yourself or like hope that maybe there's some guy who'd like, take care of you. But like usually when, I don't know if you've, kind of made your adult life career around OnlyFans, like I said, not a lot of guys who'd be interested in that would probably be interested in you, like.
Yeah.
So
it's just crazy that guys fall into it, that the guys fund this because I see you can find a lot of free stuff like porn, on the internet. Why do you need to pay for this? Why do you need to fund this bullshit? Because this is effectively what is creating this balance in the society. And then you see the gap and lack of the STEM specialists. I was talking to one of the elenasbarre community members as well, and she was telling me there is a huge problem in the UK with the medical professionals. They don't have enough. Well, for women, why to bother? My question to you guys is, why to bother with a long-term career, with a long-term medical degree, for example? Because you go to school, you do the general 6 years, right? And then you add 2 on top of that to narrow it down, like a dentistry or gynecologist, and stuff like that. I'm not really sure with the medical industry, but I think it's a very long process.
long time.
Yeah, it takes forever to get to just your degree, and then you have to practice. You have a lot of student loans if you do it properly, right? And my question is, why to bother with that when you can go to OnlyFans, show off some of your body parts there, and get paid a lot of money without putting any effort into it? And who is funding this? Who is funding this? Because look, if there was no money there, I doubt women would go and do that.
Right. Well, and like, I don't know, I wonder if it is, maybe it's going to sound harsh, but like, manipulation, because I guess the difference between like an OnlyFans thing and like just Google searches for like random pornographic images is like, there's an actual person and like you have the potential to like communicate with them and interact. And so it's, because yeah, the world's gotten so weird, but I think, I mean, all people like need that, you know, connection, you know, and then when it's just like straight sexuality and there is none of that, it's like there's this like desperate want for that, and like so much so that like men are willing to pay money for like just the chance that maybe it could happen with an attractive woman. And the women, like whether they consciously process that or not, I mean, they're really taking advantage of men because they've like created a world where like, you know, like genuine just normal relationships aren't really a thing, but like, you know, deep down people still want them. You know, and so it's just kind of this whole weird kind of fake version of how things should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it is part of like human nature, like, you know, you distort it so that it's not real and you got to pay for it, and it happens.
Why to pay for something that is not real? This is what I don't understand.
Right.
People got really stupid with how they spend their money. Really, you know, this is what it comes down to. Okay, I go buy bullshit for myself, you know. Somebody takes the money from me and then I'm blaming it all on the other gender, you know. It's like turn your brain on, you know. Why to do this? Why to invest into something that you know in advance is not going to pay out? And OnlyFans girls is just one thing that you should be conscious about, because it's like a black hole for the money, you know. The money has tendency to disappear if you don't spend it right and if you don't make enough money. These are the two cases you don't have money. But when you are stupid with it, that's the reason why you don't have enough money, you know. Why not to invest into somebody who is authentic, who wants the relationship, who puts in the effort into the relationship? And there are girls like that. They are out there.
They're just not on OnlyFans.
They are not on OnlyFans, guys. They are not. You have to go to almost weird places to find them. And I managed to find a few really good girls in them. You'll be surprised, actually. You probably won't be surprised, considering the world today. In the gun range.
Oh.
Yeah, you go to very weird places where there are still girls that have this traditional kind of mindset. You know, they realize how tough carrying a gun is, for example, how hard the man's job is. Those fields, I'm not saying gun range is the only place to go meet the girls. There are multiple places like that where women are trying to get the understanding of what being a man is and how hard it can be. So range is one of them, because it's actually pretty great. It's very hard to carry guns, right? It's a lot of responsibility, especially if you're doing the rifle classes. I was doing them and I was the only woman out there. I wish there were more women, Melody, and I told you that right before. I'm the only one because the class lasts for 8 hours. It's a very long class. It's very brain intense, and then it's also physically exhausting. How many women would want to do that? A lot of women don't want that because it's just an easy part, you know, show my body part and do something crazy, some manipulation, and then the guy is mine, you know, I get the benefits and prizes from the guy without even understanding what the guy has to go through to provide all of that for you, you know.
Yeah.
Go and do a rifle class for 8 hours, stand by the man, do like a man, and then tell me, those guys who are taking responsibility, who are protecting the homeland, you know, and I see some guys say that those army dudes are so stupid. They're not stupid. They are about survival. They know how to operate in a very nasty situation. They're the ones who keep you safe.
Yeah, no, and I think, yeah, a lot of women are, you know, deep down, they're glad that, like, regardless of what they say, like, I mean, I think most people are glad that we have a military to protect us, and it's not just like we're just an open target and like any country can, you know, be like, oh yeah, like US doesn't have any protection, let's just go in there and take it over. So yeah, but yeah, it's just it would be a different world without like men protecting like everyone else, like, you know, and not that every man's great, and there's some men who don't protect and they go out and do harm, but you know, it's like because there's some, you know, we can't get into the thinking that everyone's like that every guy's just like a douchebag who's out, you know, for himself and like screwing over everyone else. And it's like, because that's really not the majority.
Yeah, they're not the majority of guys. There are certain exceptions. I get it. But
Sure.
ladies, if you're just only focusing on the 10% of the world population of the guys who can cheat, who can do those crazy things, let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. You know,
I don't know much about him, but
yeah, well, he swaps girls every so often. Once they turn 25 years old, he ditches them and then he gets the new one. So yeah, I actually wanted to hear what you think about it.
That's it. I mean, you know, it's not certainly, I mean, yeah, it's not an approach I would probably take or agree with. But I mean, yeah, like you're saying, he's one of those dudes that I remember when I was in like elementary school, everyone thought he was like the hottest thing ever, and I just didn't. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I get that women are really into him, and he's, you know, he's got fame, he's got a ton of money, and like he can do that. And I guess like women know that, and if that's what they want to get into, then I mean they can do that. They can get involved with him, but you know, they shouldn't be like bummed out like when they turn 25 and get dumped and replaced, because it's like, well, you know this, like, you know this,
you know the history, because if you are into that kind of, I wouldn't even call it relationship, because you are obviously chasing the cloud, you're chasing the resources, you're chasing what he can give you, right? You're not doing it for free, you're getting compensated. Those models that go into the relationship with this guy, they know what they are getting in the end, you know.
Well, it's almost more like a business contract or something, because yeah, there's like a, you know, certain like trades going on, like financially, socially, all this stuff, and then there's also like a contract. It's like the contract has a time limit, and this is the date, you know, where the
expiration
the expiration date,
your
like we're no longer
has expired for for Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, he's not my kind of guy either, you know. I wouldn't go for him, even when all the girls were like over themselves about him. I'm not his fan, but I have nothing against that, guys. Look, if you can do it, and if you can set the rules, the guidelines for the girls, and girls will comply with those rules, you know. If you have something of value to offer to the women, which is usually money, resources, connections, you know, the cloud, if those kinds of girls want that, it's I have nothing against him, you know. He can do what he can do, and it's comes down to the social-sexual hierarchy in the end, you know. He's an alpha guy, he's high-value guy, he knows he can do it, he knows that a lot of women will want that, a lot of women will chase that, and guess what? Those women who want a relationship, they usually don't go for this kind of guy.
Right, that's the thing. So that's why it's kind of like, okay, if people want to just do relationships like that, you know, like I say, more of a business contract, it's like that's just a totally different thing. And like, you know, it's not really a like a true deep relationship, you know. It is just kind of based on like, you know, mutual. It's more about like, what can I get from this person, rather than like, this is a person that I really value, how can I like serve and help them. You know, and so then it's like, yeah, once whatever they're offering you goes away, like the relationship goes away, because that's what it's based on. So like for, you know, the man, it's like having a super, you know, young woman, and so as soon as she hits 25, like Leonardo DiCaprio's like, okay, well, your value just went. And likewise, I'm sure that Leonardo DiCaprio went bankrupt and like, you know, got into all sorts of legal trouble and stuff, like, you know, I wouldn't expect, you know, a woman who is just into him for being Leonardo DiCaprio to like hang around, you know.
Yeah. Or who wants a long-term relationship with him anyway, you know. The politicians and actors are the hardest type of people to be with.
Probably.
You know? They have their issues. They have their issues, man. It's just so yeah. I would not consider that as a serious relationship, and a lot of women they don't like him, you know, for what he's doing. But at the same time, look, it's your choice. You don't have to like him. If you don't like him, if you don't agree with him, you don't have to take his set rules. You can go and find a guy who has different set of rules for you, you know, and maybe comply with that guy.
Right. Yeah, because you're not gonna, no matter how pretty you are, you aren't gonna just like change kind of like the base nature of someone, you know. And like, yeah, if they've, you know, got kind of their checklist of things that they want, and like it is what it is. And yeah, I don't think that those types of relationships are like good long term. You know, I think like it burns people out, you know, because they never can really like mature themselves, because they're always just kind of doing this weird, like, you know, high school, like, what can I get from you popularity contest thing, like
and look, women don't have to we've created a society where women don't have to mature themselves. Once women figure out that they can get a hold of men by being pretty, by manipulating men, by doing all sorts of things, they don't need to mature. You know, look at Polina Poroskova, or what was her name, the Czechoslovakian
yeah, supermodel. She's like big
supermodel. Yeah, she's in her 50s now. She posts the naked pictures on the Instagram. You can go and check it out, guys.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to look? Yeah, she's great. She looks perfect for a 60 or a 50-year-old woman. But who wants to look at the 50-year-old naked body? She's still 50. You can't take it back, you know? So she was complaining that the guys in the clubs, when she goes hanging out, for example, they don't pay attention on her anymore. So she was whining about that. And what did you expect? You are a grandma. By Russian standards, you are a grandma. You know, who wants to be with a grandma? I mean, come on. You know, and there are 80-year-old models, younger women out there who look way prettier than you are. Look, I'm in my 30s, and I don't think I can compete with the 18, you know, the 20-year-olds, obviously, because they are hotter, they are younger, they you know,
they have more youth and vitality than we do.
They have a different kind of mentality, right? You know, and I'm in my kind of security phase, let's say, you know, and I don't know, you call it whatever you want. It's just not, it doesn't feel the same way as a woman matures. She has to mature with your brain too. But a lot of women are stuck in that 18-year-old period when the men are throwing themselves at them, and women can get whatever they want, basically, whatever guy they want. She was married to some, I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, it was a kickboxer, you know, like thing. Oh, maybe it was a sin. I don't remember which guy it was. Maybe I'm confusing a few cases here. Check it out, guys. I'm not really into that pop culture, okay? So she was married to a high value dude, and then he took her out of the will before he died, you know.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so she was really probably a nasty kind of person to begin with. And then yes, so she went naked on Instagram, and I mean, oh god damn it, where are we headed? People don't even know how to properly use social media, you know.
Yeah, it's certainly like changed a lot from like back in the MySpace days, you know, like the kind of like mid 2000s when, yeah, I mean, it was just, it was more about like staying connected with people and like, you know, just which was cool, you know, because you can meet friends in like different parts of the world, and like you don't have to worry about like losing their phone number if you lose your phone, or you know.
Yeah, it's
Well,
good
even
to
it's
stay
yeah, like
connected.
international
Yeah.
communications like way cheaper like online than on the phone.
I love
You know,
social
it's
media. Yeah, I love social media. I have nothing against that. People can stay connected with each other. People can find other people through social media, you know.
it's just not being used in like the most productive manner anymore. For
Exactly.
sure. A lot of it's just kind of pointless self-promotion that's not really helping anyone. Like it's, yeah.
I realize when you promote something healthy, something of value, something that actually helps people, you know, something that challenges people in a good way, you know, something that makes people think, you know, that forces them to be a critical thinker. You know, that's good because it will help them to make better choices in their life. That's great, that's fine. But when you're just all about yourself, and I see some content creators are like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm such a superstar, you know, and it's all around them, and then they are building this huge clouds, they're building this following. And I'm just like, based on what, you know, and what kind of message are you taking to the public? It's not a good message. It's not a healthy message. You are so self-absorbed. You're so concerned, you know. You don't care about anybody else. You just care about your cloud and how to build it, how to make more money for yourself, how to, because this is what everybody is invested into. Looks like, you know.
Right. Well, and
So,
some of that I've like read some things. I mean, I'd have to like look at it. There's probably stuff on PubMed, even I wouldn't be surprised, but people like get like addicted to like, you know, getting likes and stuff and like getting that. And so like once they're kind of getting like, you know, a few positive things per day, then they want more, and so then they have to like
yeah,
or to get more, and it's kind of this circular thing, like they need that little fix the
dopamine
dopamine
hits.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like drugs. So my question to you guys is, do you give drugs to a druggie, or how do you treat that problem, because it is an issue? So do you not like anything that you see, especially that a lot of people give likes already, or how do we solve this problem? Because it's also political. Look, if I don't give likes to certain people that I don't agree with, you know, they're not going to like my content. This is how it works. You know, democracy or whatever, you know, you call it. It's just like, oh yes, okay, I'll give you a few likes if you follow me, if you give me likes. You know, this is how a lot of people are approaching it now. They are not judging objectively, and I think we need to be more judgmental of each other. I think we do, because this kind of like, oh, you're so great the way you are, and everybody should accept you the way you are, nobody should judge you, and it removes all of the rational from how we do things. There are certain things I don't agree with, you know. I'm trying to share them with you in a nicer way. This is why Melody's here, you know. To keep myself down, you know. Because, you know, guys, there are certain things that if we disagree with, we should be able to express ourselves, and without being judged too. Then, you know, it works both ways. So if you don't want somebody to be judgmental on you, then you shouldn't judge that person either, you know. So it works both ways, you know.
It's okay to like, yeah, express different viewpoints, but yeah, without doing it in a way that's like nasty to the other person, you know. Because yeah, I can be like, yeah, I don't think that you know, Leonardo DiCaprio's like relationship method is a good one, and like these are the reasons, you know. It's not going to lead to like deep relationships, it's not going to help him mature as a person, like, you know, I could list all these things, but it's like,
yeah, and monogamy has been
hate for him. It's like, well, you know, like things could be better if it weren't this way. It's like what, you know, my belief. But yeah, it's, I guess that's a little different than being like, screw Leonardo DiCaprio, like he's just such an asshole, you know. I mean, yeah, there's ways to disagree. That's just like stating, you know, the facts that you know to be true, and then
yeah. And monogamy has been proven to work in the long term for the society. So I'm not a fan of what he's doing. I just know that it's out there and it works for him. Maybe it will work for you guys. I don't know. Share your opinions about Leonardo DiCaprio and other topics that we've talked about today. If you like this video and you'd like to see more content like this, give us a like, subscribe so you don't miss on the upcoming workouts and interesting discussions. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And thank you, Melody, so much for
Yeah, thank you. It's always good
here.
chatting.
I love this kind of conversations. I really do. Yeah. It's good, you know, it's good for your brain, it's good to think, and yeah, looking forward to more like that. Okay, take care guys, see you soon, bye.